I want to start off this video by specifying what I'm going to be talking about. I think Batman is a total jerk to his so-called friends and colleagues for absolutely no reason. I won't be discussing his heroic escapades in this, but instead we'll be taking a look at Bruce's personal relationships and how he both sees and treats those closest to him. With that little disclosure out of the way, let's dive into this. Batman's stoic nature occasionally leads to strained relationships. For instance, his emotional distance has caused tension with allies like Nightwing and Batwoman. Moreover, his secretive nature, especially regarding the contingency plans for fellow Justice League members, has sparked conflicts and mistrust among his superhero peers. These instances highlight Batman's struggle to balance his mission with personal connections, and we're about to dig much deeper into that, and possibly even find out why he acts in this manner. Let us first look at Justice League Doom, where Batman's contingency plans were stolen and used against the Justice League. I think it is obvious that Batman didn't mean for his systems to get hacked and his plans leaked, but that's what happened. The bigger thing to focus on is that Bruce made these plans in the first place. These aren't supervillains that he was scheming against, not at all, but it was his closest allies and acquaintances, such as Superman, Flash, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern. His fellow members of the League have given him no reason to distrust them all as a whole, but that didn't stop Batman from thinking of creative ways to destroy his teammates. Plotting ways to take out your friends using their trusted secrets is commonplace for the Dark Knight, as people are only tools to use up. I'm not even necessarily saying he is aware of what he does to those around him. Despite all his intelligence, he is oblivious to the feelings of others. Batman's behavior within the Justice League raises concerns about his ability to function as a team player. His constant vigilance and strategic mindset, while valuable in certain situations, can lead to an atmosphere of distrust among colleagues. This reluctance to immediately trust others suggests a lack of confidence in the capabilities of his fellow Justice League members. The superhero's secretive nature, bordering on exclusionary, contributes to a sense of unease within the team. Batman's penchant for keeping critical information to himself can hinder effective collaboration and make others feel marginalized, questioning his commitment to true teamwork. The insistence on having backup plans for every scenario may be interpreted not only as practical preparedness, but also as a lack of faith in the competence of his allies. This approach could undermine the trust necessary for a cohesive and efficient team dynamic. Batman's emotional distance, while rooted in personal tragedy, creates an emotional barrier that could impede genuine connections with other Justice League members. This emotional reserve may be construed as arrogance or a superiority complex, further isolating him from the collaborative spirit of the team. His preference for solo operations and occasional reluctance to fully engage with the League's activities raises questions about his commitment to the collective success of the team. This tendency to prioritize individual efforts over group collaboration undermines the essence of a superhero team. Batman's inclination to question authority within the Justice League may be seen not only as critical thinking, but also as a disruptive force that undermines the unity of the team. Constantly challenging decisions can erode trust and cohesion, hindering the League's ability to act swiftly and decisively. The testing of allies' loyalties, while presented as a method to ensure commitment to the greater good, can be perceived as manipulative and unnecessary. This approach creates an environment of suspicion and uncertainty, potentially damaging the relationships crucial for effective teamwork. In critique, Batman's demeanor within the Justice League seems marked by a lack of trust, collaboration, and a genuine willingness to work harmoniously with his fellow members. These traits, rather than enhancing the team's effectiveness, may contribute to a dysfunctional dynamic within the League. Now let's take a look at another one of the Caped Crusader's personal relationships, the original Robin, Dick Grayson. Batman's relationship with Robin has often been characterized by problematic elements that raise concerns about the mentorship dynamic. Batman's commitment to crime fighting, while commendable, is expressed through a demanding training regimen that pushes Robin to physical and emotional extremes, risking his well-being and potentially constituting a form of neglect. The secretive nature of Batman contributes to a lack of open communication, leaving Robin feeling excluded and undervalued. This lack of transparency not only hinders the growth of a healthy mentor-protege relationship, but also reflects a disregard for Robin's emotional needs and development. Batman's strict discipline, at times, appears as harsh and unyielding. This approach may contribute to an environment where Robin feels more like a subordinate than a protege, raising questions about the mentor's ability to balance discipline with genuine mentorship and support. The practice of testing Robin's loyalty by placing him in challenging situations reflects a questionable approach to mentorship. Subjecting a young sidekick to emotionally taxing tests raises ethical concerns about Batman's methods and the potential psychological toll on Robin. Batman's high standards for crime fighting create unrealistic expectations for Robin, fostering a stressful environment. The pressure to meet these standards may overshadow Robin's personal growth and well-being, suggesting a lack of consideration for the sidekick's mental and emotional health. The pattern of bringing in new Robins after the departure of the previous one raises questions about Batman's emotional attachment and whether he views his sidekicks as replaceable assets rather than individuals with unique needs and vulnerabilities. Batman's emotional distance and stoicism contribute to a sense of emotional neglect, leaving Robin without the necessary support and guidance. This emotional gap raises concerns about the mentor's ability to provide a nurturing and compassionate environment for his sidekick's development. In evaluating the Batman-Robin dynamic, it's crucial to recognize the potential negative impacts of Batman's actions on Robin's well-being and question the effectiveness of the mentorship. Now it's time to look at the person arguably closer to Bruce than anyone else, and that is Alfred Pennyworth. Examining the relationship between Batman and Alfred Pennyworth reveals potential areas of concern that merit critical scrutiny. Batman, despite being a billionaire, relies heavily on Alfred's services without adequately compensating him. The lack of appropriate acknowledgement for Alfred's extensive responsibilities, from managing Wayne Manor to supporting Batman's crime-fighting endeavors, raises ethical questions about the fairness of their arrangement. Alfred not only tends to Batman's physical needs, but also serves as an emotional anchor. However, Batman appears to take this emotional labor for granted, lacking the reciprocity needed for a balanced relationship. Batman occasionally employs guilt as a tool to manipulate Alfred into supporting his dangerous crusades. This manipulation, under the guise of duty and justice, raises questions about the ethical boundaries within their relationship. Batman routinely places Alfred in perilous situations without seeming concern for his safety. This raises ethical questions about the duty of care owed by a master to his employee, even in unconventional circumstances. Batman's secretive nature extends to his interactions with Alfred, leaving him uninformed about crucial aspects of crime-fighting activities. This lack of transparency breaches trust, with Batman exploiting Alfred's loyalty while keeping him in the dark. Alfred's life revolves around serving Batman, leaving little room for personal pursuits or relationships. Batman's expectation that Alfred is always available could be viewed as selfish and inconsiderate, raising questions about the fairness of their relationship. Batman often fails to express gratitude or acknowledge Alfred's contributions openly. The lack of recognition for Alfred's support and sacrifices may be interpreted as a form of ingratitude, challenging the notion of a partnership built on mutual respect. Batman sometimes comes off as a bit of a jerk. When it comes to the Justice League, he's that guy who prefers working solo, skeptical of trusting his fellow heroes. Teamwork isn't exactly his forte, making him a bit of a party pooper. With his sidekicks, the Robins endure high expectations, like acrobatics and loyalty tests that seem more like hazing than mentorship. Supportiveness, not exactly Batman's strong suit. Then there's Alfred, the unsung hero and loyal butler, who gets a backstage pass to Batman's less pleasant side. Gratitude and emotional support. Batman tends to keep those tucked away tighter than his Batsuit. Transparency isn't his strong suit either. Batman hoards information like it's his secret stash, keeping the Justice League in the dark more often than not. And let's not forget the ego. Gotham owes a lot to Batman, but he has a way of reminding everyone just how indispensable he is, maybe more than they'd like to hear. So, in the superhero world, Batman occasionally takes the lead as the less-than-ideal team player. From the Justice League to his sidekicks and even his loyal butler, Gotham witnesses the Batjerk show. Just your typical brooding vigilante, I suppose. It would mean so much if you subscribe and check out some of my other videos. I have a pretty large library of superhero content that I'm sure you will enjoy. As always, thank you for watching.